going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be discussing why a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade just got a little more likely for your Chicago Bulls this summer. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I don't feel like a Giannis trade is too likely, especially for the Chicago Bulls. But with after the latest injury news across the NBA, and that being Damian Lillard, as it is official coming in from Chris Haynes, is that he has officially torn his Achilles. So he is going to be out for probably all of next season. Maybe he'll come back for like a playoff run, but you can probably chalk it up that Dame will miss the entire next year, and that leaves Giannis's future in Milwaukee in question because he has made it crystal clear if he feels like he can't compete for championships with the Bucks, he will want to ask out. So I'll ask you guys this: would you sell the entire farm for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Because I think it would take 3+ first-round picks from the Bulls, bunch of young players. So you guys let me know: would you sell the farm for Giannis? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. All right, so the trade I saw floated out there, and I ran this through the trade machine, and the contracts work out. So this could potentially be the move that the Bulls, or at least the offer the Bulls decide to make. It would be 3 first-round picks, 25, 27, and 29, all unprotected. Then you're going to have to include Coby White, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic. All 3 of those contracts get you the Giannis's deal, and then the Bulls obviously take on Giannis and just Chris Livingston to help make the financial situation work out. But this is a lot to give up for a guy who is a top 5 player in the world, but 3 first-round picks, Coby White, Patrick Williams, Vooch. I don't know. We'll discuss this trade here more in a second. But I do want to talk about what Giannis had to say 2 years ago. And I will never forget this quote. I will always have this quote built somewhere in our graphic package here at Chat Sports. But he said this: I think anybody you ask a question that plays basketball, if he said no, he'd be a liar in terms of playing for the Chicago Bulls. It's a team that has won multiple championships. It's a team that had one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play this game. So it's a no-brainer. Everybody would love to play for Chicago. And I would have to imagine, like if Giannis does request a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks, that the Bulls would, maybe they're not the top team on his list, but I would assume they would be in the top 5. Like Giannis, I feel like if he does leave Milwaukee, he would want to be in like New York, LA, Boston, Chicago, one of these massive media markets. And let's just say the Knicks go on a shocking run, this upcoming year, maybe, or this playoff run, maybe they don't want to sell the farm for Giannis, and maybe they're out of the equation. And maybe Giannis looks around this summer. He's like, all right, well, I can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. And then maybe the Bulls are just slowly moving up his list. But also, DeMarcus Cousins. He had an interesting quote on Giannis potentially heading to the Bulls saying this: as his teammate, I learned there's always truth in his humor. And he's a lot smarter than he likes to give. I could see that happening, especially if the experiment with Damian Lillard doesn't go as planned. It's obvious he was ready to move on from Milwaukee once before. If it doesn't work out, I could absolutely see him in Chicago. It's right down the street. He's comfortable in the Midwest. And obviously, Chicago is a great market for any superstar. And I agree. Like, Chicago would be an awesome spot for Giannis. And I think if Giannis, let's just say he goes and delivers a championship for the Bulls, playing this crazy hypothetical scenario where the Bulls trade from, he wins a championship with Chicago in the next couple of years, he would automatically be a top 10 player of all time. He's got the awards. He's got the accolades, MVPs, DPOYs. Already has a finals MVP, and let's just say he goes and delivers a championship for a Bulls team who has been stuck in purgatory for the last 3 seasons. People would view Giannis as, one, he just brought a franchise who was terrible for the last 15 seasons, a championship which the Bulls haven't sniffed in a very long time. I think he would go down as a top 10 player of all time, undisputed. But also Shams Charania said this: everybody knows Giannis Antetokounmpo loves the Bucks, but I am here to tell you he loves winning more. That's why everybody in the Bucks organization knows what's at stake. Every summer, when he looks at the Bucks roster, he looks at a sustained long-term winning. He said publicly he doesn't feel like that is obtainable in Milwaukee. And I think it is going to happen that Giannis will ask out this summer. I think the Pacers will wrap up that first-round series versus the Bucks in 5 games back in Indiana. And I think Giannis is probably going to look at this team and be like, all right, Dame's out for the year. I'm going to have to go get out of here because he is 30 years old. He only has a couple of more years where he is in his athletic prime. Now, it takes very good care of his body, so I could see Giannis playing until he's like 37, 38 years old. But I think he will ask out this summer, try to go play for a team that will compete for championships. Now, does he view that as the Bulls? That's the biggest question. But I'll ask you guys this. Let's have some fun with this one. What are the odds? Giannis request a trade. Scale it for me 1 through 100. I think this is about 85, 90% even. I think he's going to request a trade this summer. So you guys let me know. What are the odds Giannis requests a trade? Scale it for me 1 through 100. Now let's take this from the Bulls side of things. And is it worth for the Bulls to trade for Giannis? Because clearly they are shifting to a youth movement or a rebuild, even though it is taking them way longer than it should. But does it make sense for the Bulls to sell the farm for a guy like Giannis? Well, let's break it down. So Giannis against the Pacers in the first 4 games has been fantastic. He has had no help from his teammates besides Gary Trent going for 35 points in Game 3, hence why that was the only game they won. But he's averaged almost 34 a night, almost 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 62.2% from the field. Just that alone, 34, 15, and 62% from the field. This guy's an undisputed top 5 player in the world. And if you look at his stats over the last 4 seasons, like this looks like my career numbers. Like this looks like NBA 2K numbers, averaging 10-plus rebounds, almost 30-plus points every single season, and shooting 55+% from the field every single year. So my best argument to the Bulls front office on why they should do this is I think he's an undisputed top 5 player in the world. Now, here's my top 5. I got Jokic still number 1. I'm going SGA number 2. Giannis number 3 for me. Then, Anthony Edwards. Maybe I'm just, being a little bit of a prisoner of the moment here, but I think he's number 4. And then I got Jason Tatum. Still very disrespected here, but I got him at number 5. So, let's just say the Bulls, if they give up this Godfather offer for Giannis, like, is this worth it? I think it is because who are you drafting this year that will ever equate to Giannis? Who are you drafting in 27, 29? Now, you could make the argument where it's like, hey, well, let's just build around Coby White, Josh Giddey, Modest Buzelis, and those 3, and hopefully you land a potential true number 1 with either of these picks. But, the Bulls, they're probably going to have the 12th or 13th pick this year, even though it's funny enough, Giannis was, I believe, the 15th pick of the NBA draft. But it's very, very hard to land one of those blue-chip guys at that spot. And I'm willing to obviously move off Patrick Williams, Vooch, and Coby White. But let's just say they do trade for Giannis. This is what their starting 5 could look like, assuming they would bring back Josh Giddey this offseason, where you have Giddey at the 1, Ayo at the 2, both very, very big guards. And you got Modest Buzelis and Giannis at the wing spot. Now, you would still have a massive need at center. Right now, it would just be Zach Collins, assuming he will opt into that, or assuming the Bulls will pick up that team option there. Listen, if they do trade for Giannis, the biggest question mark would be, the front court. Like, I would like a true 5 next to him, like, Brook Lopez, an ideal center next to Giannis. You can stretch the floor, shoot threes, protect the rim, be that physical force next to him where you just have this massive feel as a basketball team. But listen, it's a lot to give up, but the Bulls are stuck in purgatory. And if this doesn't work out, okay, you're bad for a couple of years. It's better than being, the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference. I'd rather, trade for Giannis, be the 4 seed, try to compete than where the Bulls have been over the last 3 seasons. So would you accept this trade? Give me an A for accept. Give me a D for decline. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. I know it's a lot to give up, but this is a very special basketball player. He's top 5 in the world. He'll be top 5 for the next, probably 5-6 seasons. So you guys let me know. Would you accept this trade? A for accept or D for decline? Also, friendly reminder, hit that subscribe button on the way out. If you guys want more Bulls content in your life, see you all next time. As always, go Bulls.